Hi, I'm Alan Stokel, and this is Budget Boat Cruising. Please join us. We're doing our third episode of the Circumnavigation of Lake Ontario. Well, a combination of the heat and the Toronto International Air Show going on out there has brought me inside the cabin. I've got all the fans on. I'm nice and cool, so I thought I would do this episode from here. Now, Oswego is a lovely old city. It's in a renaissance. It's not like some of those American cities where it's all run down. Downtown, and the wealth is in the suburbs. We were recommended to go to the International Marina, which is like easy in, easy out. It's just inside the breakwater. I wouldn't recommend it personally. I would consider going down the channel just by the bridge on the port side. Now there's docks there. There no electricity, no water, but I'm sure you could survive a day without additional electricity and water. But the best deal is right across the way by the Best Western Hotel. We paid $10 each for a day spa, and that included the free dockage. The only problem with that dockage, you are exposed to local traffic, and don't let people tell you that it's against a cement wall. The hotel has gone to the trouble of building a much lower and much small boat friendly dock, a wooden dock, and you have to climb up some steel steps to get to the to grade, but it's worthwhile, very good. Now, we did stay, big mistake, at Oswego International Marina, and to call it a hellhole is to give it a compliment. I didn't find the service very good. As a matter of fact, they wouldn't take any credit card. It was cash only. They would take my check, but I haven't had a checkbook for, 25 years. Why would they take a Canadian check? I have no idea. So be prepared. If you don't have cash, then you're going to have to go to a bank to get the cash. Now, that being said, also, by the way, no one's there to greet you. They don't answer the phone or the call radio. They if you finally find them, you will find them in what appears to be a little hut, a type of hut you would find for a parking lot sort of hut. Now, by the way, once you're there, it is in a good location. So you're very convenient, you're close to the lake, there's a great bookstore nearby, there's a liquor store there, some great restaurants. I really recommend the Thai restaurant, by the way. And but they have no services, gas or pump out. You have to go back to near the Best Western Hotel for that. Now, if you're going down the canal into the intercoastal waterways, there is a crane at that marina right by the hotel, so you can demast. The original plan was to cross the Bay of Mexico, yes, that's the Bay of Mexico, not the Gulf of Mexico, to Sackets Harbor. But the bay ended up being too choppy and it slowed us down. We didn't take into account with the predominant westerly wind that the wind has a lot of time to build up waves down the lake, so that became a bit of a problem. Now, we're 5-hour sailors, so we realized when we got into the Bay of Mexico, no way we were going to make Sackets Harbor in 5 hours, and it was rather uncomfortable. So we decided to break the journey in half by going to Port Ontario, which is on the Salmon River. Now that was a trip in itself. The marina wanted $50 any length of boat. The new docks, which were quite good, had no electricity. The old rickety docks had hydro boxes, but they didn't work. So after an hour of playing around with extension cords and pigtails, I finally managed to get electricity on the boat. They didn't have any water, there were no showers, the toilet's in the store, so after the store closes, you have to use an outhouse. Now, the problem I found this trip was when it said under new management, I'm sure they just bought the place and they're horribly underfinanced and they tend not to do anything to improve. So under new management, to me these days, means go somewhere else. I would like to thank the people at Selkirk Yacht Club who kindly offered us showers and a toilet. So thank you very much, members. You really made our day. So what do I have to say about Port Ontario? No shops, no food, no restaurants, no nothing. So we ended up ordering in pizza and we had it delivered to the dock. Now, after another run, I think of about 4 hours, we went to Sackets Harbor. Sackets Harbor truly is worthwhile. It's a lovely, old, well-restored town with restaurants and brew pubs just about everywhere. Sadly, there is no food store in town, so if you want food, you'll have to go out to the historic barracks area, which also has a marina. They also have a liquor store as well as a small supermarket. We stayed at Naval Point Marina. Very well maintained, very professionally run marina. Would highly recommend it. That's where I saw my first new sailboat, still in the plastic wrap. It was really something. After all these years, I'm used to seeing used boats. I would very definitely recommend Sackets Harbor. Now, from time to time, people ask me for a tour of my cruising sailboat. They want to see how it's set up. So I made this short video I'd like you to watch right now. So here's a quick tour of the interior of the boat, and what you see on the port side is mostly safety equipment. You can probably see the blue horn, that's my air horn. There is a handheld, a very high frequency VHF radio, as well as if you look up, you can also see I have full-size one with an antenna on the top of the mast. There's also instructions for not only first aid, but in case of emergency, how to use a VHF radio. All of these little containers I bought from the dollar store, and I've held on with those 3M Hold'em things that work really, really well. So you notice also up there is my binoculars. Got my binoculars up there, and one of those million foot candle lights for emergency purposes. So everything over there is for emergencies. Now over here, which is on the port side, all the stuff is mostly for convenience. So we have Lysol spray and insect repellent and pens and pencils and notepads and cards, access cards, etc. And would also have extra sunglasses, and this is where where I keep the things for the motor. So the lock for the motor, the access fob to the motor. You probably also notice that I have tins of Raid and Off there, insect repellent and insecticide. And lower down, and just move down here, lower down you can see these blue top containers, which I've marked on the front as to what they actually contain. So one nearest the galley is sponge, viscose towels. And then we go on to small extension cord, zip ties, and epoxy. Then the last one you can see there is duct tape, masking tape, fog tape, and sail tape. So anything in the way of tape, we got it covered. Now if we come down here a little bit, you get a chance to see a little bit of the galley. So what we have here in the galley is that black material that's sitting on the counter is actually No, it's not Guinness. It's anti-stick material, and we have a very small coffee maker there. I have a cover over what tends to be a rather ugly sink. So, although it's not that ugly today, but usually it is. And it also uses a strainer, cutting board, anything I like. Now, when we go a little further back, we can see all the things that I need for the galley. So we've got our spices, our coffee, utensils. What else we got? I guess just pretty much everything. And then we're going across here. Excuse my shirt, it shouldn't be there. My hat storage area, but it also contains a barometer, a thermometer, and something that tells humidity. Now, over here we have a steamer, which I usually use for holding fruit and vegetables, but because we're not cruising right now, there's nothing there. And you can probably see down below in the dinette, I've tucked in some information as well as maps. Now, the dinette has a number of interesting features. First off, you probably noticed that quite often when we don't have access to a dishwasher, we will use either paper or styrofoam plates and put them in one of these rattan containers that hold it steady, which means we only have to dispose of the one item. We also have plastic cups there and plastic cutlery, again, emergency purposes only. Also here in that lovely little blue basket are my regular medications that I'd be taking every day, along with in behind, you probably notice my extra set of glasses, a repair kit, that sort of thing. Just behind the nice little wicker basket is a first aid kit along with first aid instructions. Now, as we move forward on the boat, I do have on the starboard side, I have a nice hanging locker, a nice big hanging locker, and on the port side I have the head, and I'm just going to move just forward and just get some shots of the V-berth. Now, just below the V-berth, I've got the dehumidifier, and it's held in place, as you can see, but there's also a folding step stool there. The dehumidifier really makes it much more comfortable, especially in the V-berth overnight, since we don't have air conditioning. Now, this V-berth will easily take someone who's 6'3", and it's very comfortable for two people. The only problem is the second person has to be about 5 foot or 5'2", otherwise you're playing toesies all night. And right now, these blue things I've got stored here are the cockpit cushions, but you can see over here that we have a small USB electric fan to keep air circulating. I find it can be pretty hot in the boat, but as long as that's air is circulating, I'm good to go. And on the other side, we have the 12 volt type fan, as well as an LED light that runs off the battery. So we're in pretty good shape there. If you look over here, we also have a smoke detector, which I think everybody should have, and LED lights for the bathroom. So if somebody wants to go to the bathroom, just push the button, turns on the LEDs. Okay, so there is the head. It's a small space, there's no question about that, and above it we have paper tissue, towels, toilet paper, and then all the items you might need for your personal hygiene when you go to the shower. So everything fits in there. We've got a nice window and a vent, and you can probably just see those attractive LED lights that I have on the ceiling. Cape Vincent. That was a choppy trip end at the far end of Lake Ontario. It's actually probably now St. Lawrence River. Another little sleepy backwater town. The marina was terrible. The Anchor Marina was by far the worst of the cruise. It's in an old train station, and it could be really cute, but instead, the toilets were filthy and the showers were worse. The power plugs didn't work, and I ended up with pigtails and extension cords running all over the place to make it work. I needed water, but the water hose was connected to the pump out, and I didn't trust it. The town was pretty, but by far the worst food I have ever had came from Aubrey Inn. The liquor store is right across from the marina, and you'll probably need it. The food store is further down in town. So, St. Vincent, it's across from Wolf Island, and once we get north of Wolf Island, we're back in Canada. So next time, back in Canada, we'll be heading to Cullens Bay, Prince Edward County, Trenton, Cobourg, Whitby, and finally back home in the Port of Toronto. My name is Alan Stokel. Please join us then.